Pulitzer Prize winner, Professor Edward O. Wilson, and he's pointed out you could save all of the biodiversity hotspots on the earth with a one-time investment of $50 billion. That is 7% of 1 year's U.S. defense budget. And by the way, the $700 billion is about what...
And why are we at war again?
I don't know. I think the more you attack the Middle East, the more
the madder they get,
the
right?
madder they get, and the easier it is to recruit people that would get us.
Right.
I think we're spending money
for our own
to raise recruits. That's right. But now I can't remember where we were headed with this earlier, but the defense budget is outrageous. I mean, can you imagine if you just took 10% of it, what you could do to help protect the environment, to improve education for scientific research? And yet, and Eisenhower...
A lot of people seem to think that we need to defend our beautiful country.
Well...
defense starts from inside, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think we need the best intelligence we can get. In other words, we need to modernize our intelligence gathering. But just to have a lot of tanks and planes and stuff at the expense of other things that matter is, I think, tragic.
Charlie, I wanted to ask you, do you think the window of opportunity is closing on really being able to preserve some natural habitat and giving our children and grandchildren the earth,
yes,
the same kind of earth that we inherited?
If you want your grandchildren and great-grandchildren to see polar bears in the year 2050, or lions in Africa, or the last of the rhinos or whatever, they may not be able to see them. If we don't do something now, they may be gone. And it makes me sad.
It does too. But I wanted to talk about this brave woman that you wrote about in the Redwoods, and I would like to read a little passage, and then you could explain what happened, okay?
Okay, this is about Julia Butterfly Hill. Well, let me just say this.
Talk about what she did.
In 1998 and 99, she sat in the top of a tall redwood tree to prevent the Pacific Lumber Company from cutting it down.
The whole time?
The whole time for 2 years.
During the rain, snow, sleet?
Everything, that's right.
How did she get her food?
Brave soul. I think she hauled it up. People had it for her on the ground.
Amazing. What finally brought her down?
Well, after 2 years, I think, well, first of all, the Pacific Lumber Company cut down all the redwoods in 10,000 acres except for the one that Julia Hill was in.
No.
Okay, yeah.
They just cut them all around her, huh?
And somehow, she raised $50,000 and donated it to the Pacific Lumber Company to save that one tree. But as she heard, I'll let you read this, as she heard the trees fall around her, you must read her.
Okay, here's what she has to say. Once the wedge pushes through that final crack and just a few threads remain, the tree starts to rip. As the final shreds are broken, it makes this horrible scream before crashing into those trees near it, breaking any branches in its way. It's a bone-shattering sound all the way down, and the wham, the ground shakes and the air hums and everything vibrates with this fallen warrior. Then for a single breath, everything gets deathly quiet. I don't recognize that brief moment of silence in the beginning. It took going through the cutting day after day to hear that space when everything falls silent as it paying due respect. Then a split second later, the noise returns. With the bigger trees, the loggers whoop and holler as if they had killed a deer with big antlers.
Okay.
That is very touching.
It is. It is.
So she stood on that tree watching 50,000 acres of giant redwoods that she loved being wiped out.
10,000 acres.
Or 10,000. And then did they replace it with?
No, I don't know what happened to it. And I think
that's old growth forest,
recently,
right?
old growth forest. And even, I think in the last 2 or 3 years, Pacific Lumber Company finally filed for bankruptcy. Serves them right. But
not before they did irreparable damage to our forest,
Not before they took everything
right?
they could take. Trees are living creatures. They help us with the carbon dioxide buildup. They absorb it.
We need trees.
The last thing we want to do is to cut down trees.
I think what we need to realize as a species is that everything is important to our own survival.
That
until we start to take the needs of everything into consideration.
That's right. It's all connected.
We're all connected. It can't be just a me, me, me.
That's right.
And
consumerism. We have to stop just, getting
bigger,
the
better, faster, more, huh?
we exploit the Earth's resources as fast as we can. We make cheap goods. You've seen them. You can hardly go anywhere now without seeing something that says made in China. And so China is producing an enormous amount of cheap goods that wind up in Target and Costco and all these places. If you've ever seen the shipping, the cargo vessels that are leaving the China or Chinese ports, as far as the eye you can see are these enormous vessels bringing over these plastic goods and so forth that we ravenously buy, consume, throw away. They wind up in trash piles, and the whole cycle starts again. And it's scary. We need to learn to live with less than we're doing now.
Charley, we have a few minutes left, but do you think there's something about our culture that I think that makes us unsatisfied with just being ourselves and having what we have?
There appears to be, and I don't know how to change it. I wish I wish I could solve it for you, but I think what'll happen is humans tend to not solve problems until they're absolute catastrophes. Okay, we'll probably continue to exploit goods to live beyond our means.
You're not optimistic for the future.
No, I'm not. And as half the world will not have fresh water by 2025.
Any words of advice for us? Anything that we can do? Just because a lot of us care.
I don't know. I mean, there might be, even if there's a technological miracle that helps some microorganisms.
I'm sure there are like plenty of societies and groups that we can get involved with. We can probably vote green.
Well, you can. You should.
We can vote green.
Proposition 23 is on the California ballot. 2 Texas oil companies have put it on there to stop the movement to energy sources like wind and solar and so forth. And they've written it to say those activities should be suspended until the unemployment rate drops to 5.5%. Right. You know how long it's going to be before
no on 20. That's first step. No on 23, right?
No on 23 is a start. Okay.
And I guess if you're at all scientifically inclined, go to school and learn how to work on those green energy projects, right?
That's right. And the sun. There's a lot of solar energy.
And maybe we don't need that new SUV.
That's right.
Okay. I don't know what else.
Buy a hybrid. Buy something smaller.
Buy a hybrid. Buy a small house.
Right. Or if it's not too far away, ride a bicycle. Exercise will be good for your brain as well as your body.
How about a day of maybe a week of bicycling to work?
Yep.
A year we could.
I know, but people seem to be too busy consuming for that.
Anyway, our guest today was Charley Kohlhase, and here he is. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. It's been very enlightening, and I do hope we figure it all out before it's too late.
Well, Desiree, let's hope.
Okay.
Hope for the best. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If you have anything to scream about, please visit our website at www.standupandscream.net. Thank you for watching. It was great. Thanks for coming on.